Good morning, traders, and this is your Aussie or JSE top 40 day trading setup for today. So ignore this trail on daily. Again, we have some crap data coming in, which GT24 clears up once markets opened. So I've drawn in the open and close of that bar. So basically what we have is an open, we have a close up here. So this should technically be a tail. So we have another, not really a pin bar, sort of a half-hearted pin bar, similar to the previous day. Okay, but still another red day. Another green day, and we are in an area. And I think the weekly is probably the best way to explain this. We're in an area where there has been a lot of resistance. Okay, we've kind of closed on this area of resistance right now. I'll be very interested to see whether we can actually pull this off. In other words, break above this previous high, and that is going to set up a fairly big inverse head and shoulders here. Okay, shoulder, head, shoulder, which is ultimately going to drive this market to all-time highs. Okay, now if I look at the things that can influence us, Rand dollar 14.65, so slightly the Rand is slightly stronger. Okay, 10 cents. 10 cents down 2% at the moment. So that's going to be fairly interesting. I'm just going to refresh this, make sure that that's correct. Now, 10 cents down 2.09% at the moment. So US markets were flat, very, very flat. So if I just look at the Rand dollar and 10 cent, you're probably expecting a bit of a gap to the downside today. Okay, so let's just look at the 3 hours. So what we have here is we had our open, and we rallied. This bar here is invalid. Okay, it's crappy data, so ignore it, but have a look here. So very similar to the previous day, where we had a rally and then a fall off. Then we had a gap up, one strong bar, and then a fall off. So we're still going with the trend, but this pattern here, which I refer to as a story of threes, in other words, we've had 3 attempts on a higher time frame to break through a level, and the level's not 100% clear, but it's pretty much in this area, and we have failed. Okay, so what I would expect here is a reversal. So everything is lining up here, stochastics are lining up, everything is lining up for a half decent reversal. Okay, the next thing to bear in mind is we have a little bit of divergence here. So there's a high, a new high. This is on the hour. High, lower high, ever so slightly. Okay, so there is a bit of divergence there. Nothing really to write home about there. But if we just come across to the Bill Williams on the hour, you'll see high, lower high, high, higher high. There is divergence here. There is something brewing. Okay, so, and if I just go across to the 4 hour, nothing really apart from these 3 bars on the awesome oscillator. Okay, so my advice to you today is exactly the same as yesterday and the day before yesterday, is closing range breakout strategy. Okay, so if we look at this here, there's our closing range. You can see, obviously we want to pick it up off a 6-minute or a 12-minute chart, but you can see the open with a close above the range. You could have jumped in right there or at break of this bar, or alternatively you could have waited for a bit, the pullback to happen, and there was your signal there with that inside bar, and then that would have given you your range height. Target was there, then we broke through to the next target level and more than likely got to the second the second range target. Okay, well, so we did get the second, the third range target. So I don't have the third one drawn in, but you can see there's a double top on the third here. Anyway, so for today, I would advise exactly the same scenario. And the range is almost the same size as it was yesterday. Okay, the only difference is I suspect it's going to be a gap down and a move to the downside. Logical targets, you've got two gaps to the downside here, so that would pretty much hold up price somewhat. So let's see if I can find a level here. There's nothing really. Yeah, so the trend is up, so just I've got to be wary of these shorts. But we need to find some kind of a level, and the only levels I can see because of this trend being so strong is 52250. So 52250 is the one area, and that's just basically this previous breakout. This area here needs to go this one is 52647. That's the first level that needs to break. If that breaks, well, if we do break out on the closing range strategy, then you can pick up. I want to put this level in. Where's our range target? There's our range target there, which is these tails. And I think if we get down to there, I strongly suspect this gap is going to close here. And then the next gap is down there. So those are my logical targets at the moment. Not really interested in committing to a long-term short because the trend is still to the upside. It's just that we are fairly tired at the moment. So what we're looking for is I'm looking for a bit of retracement here. It'll be worthwhile shorting this on the break. So if we do break through, let's just use this level there. So 52,700 is the bottom of the closing range. And then what I'm looking for is to take some profit at 52,524. Maybe leave a small position on for this gap close. And you can almost adjust it to there, which would be 52,292. Okay, so that's kind of what my view is at the moment. Now there's no structure for a long-term short at the moment. You can see these little consolidation days, rally consolidation, rally consolidation, rally consolidation, rally. So this is kind of in two minds. I'm not really interested in going long at this level, put it that way, unless we do break above the closing range. Then I've got a pretty good stop area, and I've got a defined target, and that defined target would be another attempt at the top. But I think yesterday we got a double top here, so inside bar, engulfing bar. So there is a bit of a double top. So I definitely would expect a move to the downside, but a small move. So looking for a take profit at the range target. That would be my first bet. Okay. After that, if we do continue, then it's gap close. And then depending what time we get the gap close, it would be worthwhile getting in for a long with a stop below this tail. Just bear in mind you've got two gaps. You've got this one and this one. So if we do get a violent move, you've got a good strong possibility of closing both gaps. And you've got a third gap further down. So yeah, so I think for me at this stage, any short is a scalp and I want to get out on a level. I'm looking for an opportunity to buy again. And if I delete the noise, my opportunity to buy can come in pretty much anywhere at the moment. I just want to go across to the ichimoku. You can see on the 4 hour for the ichimoku, look at the levels. There's my first level all the way down here, which closes that gap. And this is my double top. I'd need to break below this fractal for this double top to play out. Okay, so that's my first buying area, pretty much 5233, and that's on the 4-hour. On the daily, now here is the interesting scenario, which is why I say the trend is fairly strong to the upside. We've broken through the cloud, we've closed above the cloud, we've got a crossover, we've got a twist, we just don't have Chiku span breaking through price yet. So from an ichimoku perspective, you don't want to take this first break of the cloud for your long, okay? You want to wait for a pullback, and then you take the long. The pullback can come off the 4-hour, or alternatively it can come off the daily. And there is a great area for a long, which is 52,382. And we've got futures close out next week. And look how this lines up with the previous swing high. Okay, so we've got futures close out next week, which I don't know what the levels are just yet, but I think we're more than likely going to be somewhere inside the cloud here by the looks of things. If I drop down to the hour, you'll see the trend has been up for quite some time, but the 4-hour has just broken through, and you can see what I mean by breaking through, come back, test the cloud, and then move. And if I look at the weekly, the trend has been up all along. Okay, so we sort of dropped below the cloud, came back, went through the cloud, came back, tested the cloud with an inside bar, perfect weekly setup, and we've had this is our second week of rally. But we are at a level which we need to pay attention to. You'd expect a pullback. And this level here, 52382 on ichimoku, is a fairly strong level. Okay. And it's across most of the time frames. It's the previous fractal here as well, after this one. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense, for me anyway. So whatever pullback happens here, I'm looking to get long further down. But I will take this short if we do get it today. But the short we're looking for is the closing range strategy. Okay, so take it off a break below that area. There's our last hour of trade, and take my profit. Well, there's two areas here. You can see how it lines up with Kijinson on the half hour, and then you've got this inside bar, and you've got a gap close. So those are the three areas where I'm looking to take profit. Okay, so that's my view for today. If by some miracle we do break to the upside, same scenario, but the only difference is I would be very, very cautious because of what I can see on the higher time frames. Okay, so that would take me to there. So if we break above 52,870, then you're looking for 53,060 as your target. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. I hope that helps you, and I will catch you later. Cheers for now.